Ripple's CTO, David Schwartz, just shared a key insight that could shape the future of the XRP Ledger. At a time when the network is already handling over 70 million new transactions per month, Schwartz believes the next big step is building a high-quality hub designed for improved performance and reliability. And no, this isn't a Ripple-backed initiative. It's a personal project he's decided to take on. Let's unpack what this means. In a tweet, Schwartz said, "I haven't run any XRPL infrastructure myself in a few years. Looking at the network, it seems like the most useful thing would be a high-quality hub with reserved slots for UNL validators, other hubs, and servers serving applications on XRPL." That may sound a bit technical, but in simpler terms, he's talking about creating a core server setup that's optimized for the XRP Ledger. One that can support validators, connect with other hubs, and serve decentralized applications built on the XRPL. So what's actually being built? Schwartz plans to deploy a server equipped with an AMD 9950X CPU, 256 gigabytes of RAM, and multiple SSDs, including a 2 terabytes boot SATA SSD and two 2 terabytes NVMe SSDs in RAID 0 for something called NewDB, a database used by the XRP Ledger. It will have a 10 gigabytes unmetered internet connection and run Ubuntu LTE as the operating system. The server will be housed in a New York City data center, and the aim is to keep it running with high uptime and reliability, similar to how critical infrastructure services operate. Now, here's the catch. Schwartz admits that relying on a single hub is not ideal for a truly decentralized system. But he says this setup is mainly about gathering data, not about replacing the network's distributed nature. He explains that any testing will be non-disruptive, unless something very unusual happens. That kind of honesty is refreshing. It's clear that Schwartz wants to make a meaningful contribution to the network, even though this is not an official Ripple Labs initiative. But this insight comes at a time when XRP Ledger, XRPL, is already growing rapidly. According to crypto data platform Dune, XRPL recorded over 70 million new transactions last month, bringing the total to 3.83 billion transactions overall. Just last week alone, 13.5 million new transactions were added, averaging 1.8 million per day. That's a pretty significant number and places XRPL among the top-performing blockchains in terms of activity. And there's more happening in the stablecoin space too. In July, Braza Bank issued $4.2 million worth of BBRL, a Brazilian real-backed stablecoin on the XRP Ledger. Meanwhile, daily transaction volumes for Ripple's own stablecoin, RLUSD, have more than doubled, from around 5,000 to over 12,000 transactions per day in just 1 month. This tells us something important. XRPL is quietly evolving into a stablecoin settlement layer, potentially positioning itself alongside or even ahead of other networks that dominate the stablecoin space. So how do Schwartz's efforts fit into all this? Well, building a high-performance hub with dedicated resources could act as a reliable bridge between validators, developers, and decentralized apps on the XRPL. It's not about taking over the network. It's about making it stronger, more reliable, and easier to develop on. And that matters, especially as more financial institutions and developers start to explore what XRPL can offer in terms of speed, low fees, and regulatory alignment. Still, it's important to view this critically. While it's exciting to see a leader like David Schwartz taking initiative, centralizing infrastructure, even temporarily, can come with risks. Relying on one high-quality hub for testing and network observation must be handled carefully, so it doesn't accidentally become a single point of failure or create bias in data that influences future development. That said, the transparency around this initiative is a positive sign. Schwartz made it clear that the project is independent, non-disruptive, and designed to support, not replace, the decentralized nature of XRPL. In conclusion, this update from Ripple's CTO might look like a small technical step, but it actually reflects a larger trend. XRP Ledger is maturing, both in terms of volume and structure. With people like Schwartz actively engaging again in its infrastructure, it suggests Ripple is serious about staying competitive, not just in payments, but in the broader Web3 and financial ecosystem. Whether or not this hub project becomes a model for others to follow, one thing is clear. The XRP Ledger is not standing still. It's evolving and fast.